Hey everybody, welcome to PixelBlips podcast. This is our E3 special. Once again, we're in New Digs in my office/game room. Um, this time we're talking about third parties, specifically what we saw at Ubisoft, what we saw at EA,
Yeah.
and I want to talk about Capcom a little bit. So,
I actually didn't get to see hardly anything. I only saw a little bit from the Ubisoft one. So
Okay,
this
so
will be mostly you because you tell me what you saw.
okay, so once again, Ubisoft has done a great job of making me want the new Assassin's Creed video game, even though I'm probably not going to want the new Assassin's Creed video game when it comes out. This Black Flag thing looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks really good. Like everything I've seen of it, and I saw the Sony one.
And Henry Rollins better be DLC.
Henry Rollins costume for Connor's grandfather. That'd be cool.
Is that who this guy
Edward
is?
Edward Kenway, I think is the name of the character. So
And he's
that's
Connor's grandfather?
he's Hatham's dad.
Okay.
So Connor's grandfather.
Interesting.
It looks really cool. Like if you really liked all of the boating stuff, you're gonna get a ton of boating stuff in this one. It's like if you want to drive a pirate ship and do all that fun stuff, that's what you get.
It really looks like the world's bigger. That's the one thing I like.
Yeah, that is
Like
one of the
the
things
locations
they've
are
said.
more varied. It looks cooler.
Well, I have I pre-ordered it and I got a map, and the map is like you have a lot of the Caribbean. Like you have the southern part of Florida, you've got Cuba and Haiti and all that. Like you have all those islands, and most of those you get to explore. So that seems really cool. It would be really neat to see if like you go to Cuba and you can run from one end of Cuba to the other through the jungle. That'd be really neat to see. I don't know if they're going to do that, but maybe they could with all the RAM that they have in these new systems.
Yeah, it's true. They didn't announce it at the press conference, but it did come out later that Aveline, the heroine from Liberation, which I did play. I did play Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. I did like it.
Yeah.
She's going to be in it in a special downloadable missions.
I was going to say, because
that is her own story, which is weird.
Because she would have been born like 80 years after that.
Yes, so I'm interested in seeing what's up.
So unless it's like she falls into a time warp.
Or maybe it's like, because it's all in the Animus, it's just like
Yeah.
another section of dreams in the same area.
Yeah.
Aveline's
That'd be cool.
Adventures in the Caribbean.
Aveline goes
Which is
to
like,
Cuba.
that's the game I want. Like, I don't really want the Black Flag thing, even though it looks really cool.
It does look really cool. And, Blackbeard. Why not?
Yeah.
Right?
So
Ubisoft shows you Assassin's Creed, and it makes you want Assassin's Creed.
makes me want Assassin's Creed. Rayman Legends still looks amazing, and I really want that game.
Too bad that game didn't come out months ago when it was supposed to.
But it's coming for the Vita.
And it's going to come out for the PS3.
So I will be buying it on the Vita, because that screen looks amazing.
Yeah, and Rayman Origins came out on the Vita,
Yeah.
and it's what I've seen of Legends is it's a lot of the same kind of gameplay where it's a 2D side scroller, but it's got all the kind of silly, bouncing around. You get like this little Viking girl you get
And
to
like
play as.
the touching.
Yeah, you get to
mechanics
touch the screens and stuff like that. So it's really neat.
Yeah.
Looking. I know Ubisoft talked about some Rabbids game, right?
No, it was a TV show.
It's a TV
Interactive TV show
Okay.
/ video game, which is
Okay.
going to be just like that Quantum Break thing.
Yeah, which that looks really weird.
Which I'm like, oh sure. I liked the first Raven. I liked the first Raven Rabbids game, but
Yeah.
I haven't liked one since. Like when they're just minigame collections, that's okay.
Yeah, like a WarioWare type thing
Yeah.
with Rabbids.
Like that's kind of cool, but
Yeah.
like they're like TV show.
Yeah,
Sure.
TV shows.
There's an Angry Bird TV show, so why not a Raven Rabbids TV show?
Yes.
Let's see what else they talked about. They really showed it off really well at the Sony press conference, but they did talk about Watch Dogs at their press
They
conference.
did. They did talk about Watch Dogs.
And I think that's why, like, when I say, like, they make me want to buy the new Assassin's Creed game, even though I'm not, that's because I'm probably buying Watch Dogs.
Yeah. And Watch Dogs seems like it's a really neat game.
I think it's a neat concept. It's a neat game. It's a neat concept, and it's at the right damn time.
Yeah.
Like, because right now we're talking about, like, that Prism stuff, that NSA stuff, and, like, so people's minds are in that kind of 1984 surveillance state place.
Yeah.
And like, between Watch Dogs and Infamous Second Son, I think you're kind of getting that, the creative media outpouring of, like, what the zeitgeist is right now, and it's this fear of surveillance, and you have no privacy.
Yeah.
Which we don't care. I mean, we're on the internet.
We're talking about video games on the internet.
Whatever.
Everything I've seen about Watch Dogs is really cool. I do like the gameplay demo that I saw. I believe it was in the Sony press conference
Probably
where the guy chases the dude down.
Yeah.
All that stuff looks really, really neat, and it's technically well done. Like it's really, really awesome. I'd like to see what the multiplayer is kind of like, even though I'm not going to play the multiplayer more than likely.
Yep.
If it has any interactions with the single player.
Well, it's
like-
supposed to be, like, almost seamless.
Like a
they're all
lot
in
of
the same city.
Like that's kind of what's going on anyway with everything.
And also,
else.
I just want to point this out: Watch Dogs is immediately the world winner for the world's best open world game because of Chicago.
Of course, yes.
The world's best city in the world's best game.
I suppose.
If you can find Portillo's hot dogs and Connie's pizza in that game, I will be sold.
That would be neat.
You
right?
totally won't be able to, but I will be sold if you can do that.
You know what? Why not?
That
would drum up some support for Chicago.
If you can roll up to a hot dog stand
And
like
be
a
like,
Spanky's,
I need Portillo's right now.
Like a Spanky's. I want Vienna beef. Like
that'd be cool. Like that's how you get your life back. You go to a Portillo's.
You go to a Portillo's. Like as a Chicago person born in Chicago, like Chicagoan, but like living elsewhere, like for the majority of my life, like I can tell you, the one constant that I remember of my hometown is wonderful hot dogs, awesome pizza.
Yes. Well, okay.
And doubles.
Doubles. And the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears. Everyone likes the Bears.
And the Cubs.
The Cubs. No one cares about the White Sox. Sorry, it's the truth.
Okay.
Even though the Cubs suck compared to the White Sox.
Yeah, well, you know.
Anyway, we're not a sports show. We're a video game show. So having open world Chicago to me is really cool because like
seem like a really neat
Chicago, if you don't know, was like the background of The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And like the look of Chicago is so unique with the L train and Lower Wacker, and like this is going to be awesome.
I mean, yeah, and it looks like the GTA of the future that just is, I don't know, just mind blowingly awesome looking.
I liked the onstage demo for the PlayStation 4 where they were like doing all the hacking stuff, and he kind of like hacked into an apartment even though he wasn't in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, that's cool. Like I like that. I
neat.
want that guy's cell phone.
The guy's cell phone does everything. Can't just
like,
doesn't just stop at
lights.
Ordering pizza. It's like, here, bring up those the barricades that they can bring up out of the ground. Yeah,
that was really cool, and I liked the look of it. Like if I could say like the look of Watch Dogs seems to be rain drenched.
Yeah, it always seems
like it's raining.
There's something going. Yeah, there's always some bad weather going on.
So it looked really cool. I liked it.
Yeah, it does. And Watch Dogs is one of those games that when they showed it last year and they were like, this is running on a high-end PC, guys.
Yeah.
And we all knew it was like, no, it's running on PS4 and 360 or Xbox next box hardware.
So now their bell of the ball could kind of come out.
Yeah, and they're like, here, now we can show you what this thing looks like on current gen, our new gen hardware. So.
They showed The Crew, which is their driving game.
Yes.
Which is another driving game.
It's a driving game.
Still not another MotorStorm. I don't really care.
Yeah.
At least it's not a kart racer or like a Raving Rabbits kart racer.
That'd be kind of neat though.
Yeah, I would buy that.
That'd be really like a Rayman themed racer.
I've played a little bit of Little Big Planet karting. And
yeah, because
I've kind of learned that like I really like karting games.
Yeah. Well, you have Mod Nation, right?
No.
I thought you had the.
I have the PS Vita version of Mod Nation.
Oh, that's the same game.
And I have the PSP version of Mod Nation, but I don't have the actual.
You don't
PS3
have the
version.
PS3 version.
The big boy version.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
The Division.
Okay.
Tom Clancy's.
Mm-hmm.
The Division. Which I'm really glad that it wasn't like like Tom Clancy Ghost Recon The Division.
Yeah.
Or Tom Clancy Rainbow Six The Division.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, if you can just pare me down to a title and a subtitle, like I'm good. Yeah. But don't keep going. Don't add too many colons.
Yeah, because once you add colons, semicolons, and all that fun stuff, it's just like, holy crap, this is a really long title for a game. So
I think the problem with The Division is Ubisoft it seems like Ubisoft was like, okay, what is everyone doing? They're doing these massively multiplayer shooters.
Yes.
These things like Planet Side or Planet Side.
Planet Side.
Planet Side.
Yes.
Planet Side and Destiny and Titanfall. And we need one of those. So here's The Division.
Yeah.
Tom Clancy's The Division.
But I mean, the gameplay demo of that looked really, really impressive.
Yeah.
Like.
And I loved when it popped up. Like he got the new gun and there was a damage range on it.
It's like, hey, it's like Borderlands.
I was like, it's like an RPG. I love this.
It's realistic, more realistic Borderlands.
Can I get a Vorpal shotgun?
Maybe. You get a shotgun that shoots through, that uses portals.
Ooh.
A portal shotgun.
Now you're thinking with portals.
That's right.
So The Division looked cool. It would have looked cooler if it was more unique.
Yeah.
Like if there wasn't Destiny, which looked amazing, and there wasn't Titanfall, which, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like if it was just The Division, like if The Division showed up last year, I would have been blown away by The Division.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
But it probably wasn't far enough along to be shown, so.
So let's see what else. I think that's all I want to talk about with Ubisoft.
They did talk. Didn't they bring out some dude to play guitar? They're gonna show like Rocksmith.
Oh, Jerry. Yeah. The new Rocksmith was Jerry Cantrell.
That sounds right.
I think
don't know.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, they're showing off a new Rocksmith. They have a new
that will play the. You'll play the guitar and you'll have a backup band. Like the game is the backup band.
Yeah.
I was like, that's interesting.
And from what I've understood, like with Rocksmith, it actually teaches you how to play guitar.
Yeah.
Like not like Guitar Hero where you just hit the buttons in the right order. You actually have to move up and down the neck of the guitar, hit the frets, hit the right strings and stuff like that.
I totally don't want to do.
No, but if you really wanted to learn how to play the guitar, this would be a really good way to do it. And like it gets you like I guess. Somebody I heard talking about it was like, yeah, it has mini games to kind of get you to say, to look at the screen rather than your fingers when you're trying to play songs or whatever. It's like, pluck the right string with the right fret and you'll knock down the ducks, like a shooting range type game, but you're playing it with the guitar.
That's cool.
So that's a pretty neat way of doing it. And they also had a new Just Dance game, which of course they did. Or
Just Dance Ghostbusters. No, they had Just Dance.
They have Just Dance, okay.
And it was Just Dance, and they showed off they have Ghostbusters.
Good. They have a Ghostbusters song.
Sold.
So you'll be buying that for your PS4 whenever you get it.
Yeah. I have to buy the camera, I guess.
Yeah.
Or tie move controllers to my legs. So anything else at Ubisoft before going to EA?
They had that really big tall lady with the Girlwood shirt again. The girl from Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was on
She's
something.
Funny.
She's
funny. She was on Talk Soup. I liked her on Talk Soup.
Yeah, and she was on like somebody's after E3 thing for like 10 minutes. She's just like, yeah, I'm just a monster. These people are normal size. I'm huge. She's super tall. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really get to see the Ubisoft thing. I saw bits and pieces, but I never really got to.
But like as the show kind of went on and more stuff came out, like everyone's like, oh, the Assassin's Creed's cool, Watch Dogs is cool, this Division thing looks okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is a wrap up show.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to EA, Electronic Arts,
which we know they
the worst company in America.
Well, they have some competition now. I think Microsoft's trying to take that crown, but okay.
Oh.
Anyway, what did they show at EA? EA?
They actually showed a Battlefield 4 demo that I was excited for because they kind of pulled the curtains back, and they were like, "Here is a 64 or 32 or something. Here's a bunch of people playing in this map right now, and we're just gonna let you watch." And I was like, "Oh,
that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
If you can have like a 64-person console shooter, that's pretty good
with all the destructible environments and everything." Yeah. And I was like, "Sweet, that's cool."
Like Red Faction destructible, right? You can shoot holes through walls and things like that.
Like
that's cool.
That's
really neat. Like, I'm glad that like they're bringing not only just the visual realism, but like hey, this bomb blew up at this building. There's definitely going to be damage to it now.
One of those things I always liked about Battlefield when they introduced the Frostbite engine or Frozen Bite, whatever they call it. Like I'm just gonna drive a tank through the side of your building.
Yeah, you're just gonna plow through.
I'm just gonna pull out these supports and shoot.
The sniper's gonna collapse on top of you.
Your sniper's nest is gonna be pointless.
Yeah. And Battlefield's always had that. You can ride in anything that you can drive. So.
Yep. So they also showed off their Ignite engine.
That sounds right. Yeah.
The one with FIFA and Madden.
Pretty much all their sports games are going to be powered by this thing, right?
Well, they say they're going to have a basketball game this year, but I doubt it. Because they've said they were going to have a basketball game for the last 3 years, and they haven't.
No.
I think the cool thing with the Ignite engine was when I was watching the Madden footage and the FIFA footage is that everything looked very smooth, which is the one thing that sports games haven't really had.
You kind of need to have a smooth gameplay experience.
The animations would look really good and everything, and they would like really flowed well. So we don't know like if that's what the gameplay is going to finally look like, but this Ignite engine seems to be trucking.
Yeah, and that's good. Like they've got a new engine. They've got all this new tech to play around with this new engine and to learn how to eke all the power they can out of it. And that's something that I think we're going to see a lot more of. Like we've seen
squeezing the lemon.
We've seen a lot of that with like the PS3 and specifically with like The Last of Us. You could see where they're at the edge of what they can do with it because there's only so much horsepower. There's only so much RAM that they can take.
And they got to kind of pick like what shader do we want in this scene?
Yeah, because they can't have them all. And now, like as somebody said, it's not what we can't show you. It's how much of what we will show you. Yeah, like there's very little on what we can't do versus what we can't do now.
So EA also showed off.
Obviously, they showed off Battlefield. They showed off
Peggle 2.
Oh yeah, Peggle 2. Oh, and
there goes your time. Bye.
Yeah, And Plants vs Zombies.
Garden Warfare. Which I love that name, Garden Warfare. I loved how they showed it too. It was like it looked like it was gonna be the Modern Warfare logo.
Yeah.
And then it was like Garden Warfare.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh cool, it's a third-person shooter.
Yeah,
with the Plants vs Zombies people.
Yeah, and you're running around with your little cactus shooter thing or your pea shooter guy, and it's goofy. It's
free to play.
I don't remember. I couldn't.
It seems like that would be a wonderful free to play game.
That seems like that.
PC though.
Yeah.
PC.
Well, that's okay. PC needs some love every now and then. I love my PC.
Watch out for that disk drive.
Ew.
Anyway.
Ew. So yeah, they showed off all that, and I think it's good to see that not just the big three are getting a lot of airtime, a lot of coverage because
PC was getting a really big coverage. And I think that has a lot to do with the architecture of this next generation.
Yeah, because they're similar to what.
Yeah, the fact that third parties are like, okay, well, we'll have an easy time porting it from here to here to here.
A vastly easier time between the PS3 and the PS and the PC or the Xbox.
Yeah.
Which is the Xbox is kind of like the 360. We have to differentiate now, and I hate that. The 360 is kind of like an underpowered PC, and it was way easier to get ports from the PC to the Xbox versus the PC and the PS3 because of the architecture difference.
Okay.
But now, these new systems are pretty badass gaming PCs out of the gate. And in a couple of years, they won't look as good as PCs, but people will do what they've been doing with these. They're going to eke everything they can out of them and
keep squishing. Yeah, squeezing that lemon.
And big publishers big publishers like Ubisoft,
the fact
and
that
EA and stuff like that.
I think
do that.
console people, when we talk about PC graphics, console people, you'd be totally fine.
Yeah.
Because literally, we're talking about a game like The Last of Us came out this week.
Yes.
Looks
Friday.
Flippin' amazing.
It is. And I put 3 hours into it, and it is it's gorgeous.
Gorgeous, not amazing in the terms of its gameplay is great, its story is great. I'm sure all those things are good, but it looks gorgeous.
It is very great looking game.
It stands next to Crysis on the PC at the moment. In my opinion, looking at those two things, of course Crysis can give you a higher resolution, all that stuff.
Yeah, because the game only runs out at 720.
Yeah, but it still looks whoa, and this is on 8-year-old, 7-year-old hardware at this point.
And it's a games like that,
so when we talk about
specifically
PC graphics,
Naughty Dog has been able to do that, show that they know how to do that very well.
Yeah.
With the Uncharted series and now The Last of Us.
So EA Take-Two. Oh, why did I forget this? Dragon Age.
Oh yeah, they basically confirmed that they're working on a new Dragon Age.
They did Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, they started with Mirror's Edge, didn't they?
Yeah, supposedly a reboot.
Which, whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, sure. I didn't really care for the first one.
I never played the first one. It looked really cool.
Yeah, I thought I would like the first one a lot more than it did. I actually ended up liking it. But Dragon Age Inquisition, and the fact that Morrigan comes back and you see a lot of the people I was because I was kind of turned off. I rented Dragon Age 2. I never finished it. Yeah. I never bought it. So I was really turned off by it.
Well, okay, so
but Inquisition makes me want to go back and play it.
The story with Dragon Age 2, doesn't it take place way after the events?
No. Dragon Age 2 takes place semi-concurrently with what's going on in Dragon Age Origins.
Okay, so it's just
which is one of the things I totally hated because I was I spent so much time building up my character in Origins. I wanted to bring them forward, but I did in Baldur's Gate, and
yeah, you can't do that.
Okay. So the fact that they pushed it back into 2014. We don't know when it's coming out, but the fact that there's Dragon Age on the horizon for these next gen consoles makes me excited.
And
if it's that same team that has taken their hits from doing what I like to call Dragon Age Mass Effect, Dragon Age 2, and they kind of bring it back to what Dragon Age Origins was, I'd be really happy.
Yeah, and if you
theoretically,
if you could import your character from Dragon Age 1 or Dragon Age 2, that would be nice.
Man, I used to play Awakenings and that's so much time.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was basically EA for me. I thought they did really well, but they weren't blowing me out of the water. The Capcom came up. They didn't really do a press conference, but I did watch their booth tour. I thought their booth was amazing. They had this huge zombie stampede area for their new Dead Rising game.
Oh yeah.
Which is going to be Xbox One
exclusive, I believe,
but not a launch title.
No, it'll be out early next year.
And it looks more serious. It looks like they decided to we're gonna bring it closer to Resident Evil and like further from like the craziness that was.
Yeah, I mean,
Dead Rising 2.
and that's one of the things that I've heard with Dead Rising specifically is that because I watched that trailer during the Microsoft thing, and I was like, but part of the deal with Dead
like
Rising
dressing
was
up as a clown and running through these
yeah,
things on a moped.
you're trapped in a mall with all these
Yeah.
zombies. Go. And
Mhm.
now it's like you're in this big ass world. You can drive around a car. You're just mowing down zombies. It's more like the Walking Dead and GTA 5 had
Yeah,
a
I can see
baby,
that.
and that's kind of what that looks like to me.
I can see that.
Or Grand Theft Auto 4, since I have not played 5. I don't know anything about 5. But.
Capcom also brought their new Ace Attorney game for the 3DS, which looks good.
Because they always need more Ace Attorney games.
Yeah, well, Ace Attorney games are kind of like one of those things like it's like a McDonald's hamburger.
They're like
you
Professor
never,
Layton games.
Yeah,
you never
really want it.
Yeah,
but it's always good.
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's always good enough.
Yeah, always good enough. Yeah.
McDonald's burgers aren't necessarily.
Capcom also showed off their Dungeons and Dragons Chronicles of Mystara, which is coming to PSN and XBLA.
Yep. And I have to assume that they showed off some more DuckTales stuff.
They showed off a lot more DuckTales stuff. I watched like reams of DuckTales stuff.
Just show me the game. I'll just watch you play the whole thing.
Watching like
because you can burn through that game in like an hour and a half, right?
Yeah, I think my record is probably close to an hour and a half.
Yeah, like so 2-3 hours that game is done. So
yeah, so I watched like 90 minutes of them playing one level just to like, oh my god, it looks so great.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
That was the one thing I didn't see out of Disney Interactive that I wanted to see. They didn't show a lot more of Castle of Illusion with Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
but
you know,
but we'll get to Disney Interactive next because I got something cool I want to talk about Disney Interactive.
Okay.
So the last thing Capcom showed that I thought was really cool was Brain Fart.
Fighting game.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Forget it. Anyway, Disney Interactive. Disney Infinity looks amazing.
It does look really cool.
Can we talk about how like I'm a grown man
and you want to play this Disney game?
I'm a grown man, but I really want to go buy toys with a little stand like Skylanders. Like Skylanders didn't do anything for me. Like I thought it was cool. I thought the idea was cool.
It was Spyro Pokemon.
Yeah, I thought I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I see the kids get them into Target and everything, and then like Disney Infinity comes out and they're like, yeah,
Skylanders with Disney characters.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, but you get to be the Beast. Yeah, but Simba. Yeah, but Mr. Incredible. I was like,
yeah,
okay,
there's a lot of cool stuff with that. I have heard that.
Oh, and Tron. That was the one thing they showed off, and I was like,
yeah. One of the things that I've heard that is kind of a critique of this game is a lot of people are saying you won't be able to play all the characters in all the levels.
Yeah.
Like you can only play the Lone Ranger characters in the Lone Ranger levels, and then you get
that.
And you can
I want to play the Tron characters in every level.
Yeah, but you can't do that. Like they're gonna have specific levels for specific characters that only can be played by those characters. But then you can do the big story box mode where you can do the Tron guys versus the Monsters Inc. guys and do whatever.
You just killed my anticipation
I know,
of this game.
But I've heard that is
you
something
like drug it out in the street and shot it.
I know. I grabbed it by its hair and no.
Yeah, so like what I was thinking when they were showing this game off, I was like, oh my god, what if I could do like, because Disney owns Marvel now. What if I could do like Tron versus Captain America? Like, I would love that. Let's do that.
But I don't know if that's gonna work. Like, I don't know if that's something they can do. Sorry.
So I guess I have to keep my hopes up for Mickey Mouse and the Castle of Illusion HD.
Well, that'll be good too.
Let's see. So what else? We got some new Saints Row stuff. Saints Row the 4th.
Yeah.
Still looks batshit.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's a Saints Row game, right?
Yeah.
So Saints Row is just in general a goofy ass series.
Yeah.
Like, there's always some kinds of weird stuff going on with them. So.
Let's see. Okay. And then the Metal Gear stuff.
Yeah.
We got more Metal Gear from Capcom.
Yeah. I mean, and then.
Oh, Atlas! I forgot to talk about the Atlas stuff.
Okay.
Dragon's Crown looks amazing, and I really want it.
For your Vita.
Yeah, for my Vita.
Yeah.
Like it sold me on the Vita. I was gonna buy the PS3 version, but then it was like seeing its artwork and like full HD and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want that on that OLED screen. That's gonna look so great.
Well, and then it'll give you it's like a 2D beat 'em up, right?
Yeah.
With RPG elements where you can level up all the different characters.
Yes, and crafting and all this other stuff. That's
like a 2D MMO.
Crazy. And
except
you can have I think you can have up to 4 people online.
Oh, okay.
They said you can. There are many permutations. You can be like online infrastructure or online ad hoc. I think they said you couldn't play PS Vita and PS3 people together, which I think is a bad thing.
That sucks. But maybe there's a technical limitation to that.
Yeah.
And
but the
problem they can't get around. And
so they're showing off Dragon's Crown at Atlas, and then over on Xseed they're showing off Muramasa Rebirth, which you're gonna have to buy because I already own Muramasa for my Wii, and I want it on the Vita. So
I'm not buying nothing for you.
oh, Muramasa, like it's all this. This is the same artist that did Dragon's Crown did Muramasa, and Muramasa was a Wii game. It was very beautiful, but was very constrained by what the Wii could do.
Oh, okay.
And like Muramasa on that OLED screen looked just jaw dropping.
Well, good.
And I was like, oh, I can only buy so many games. I can't get you both. So I decided to hold off for Dragon's Crown.
Well, you'll be all right.
Yeah. I'll wait for Muramasa to show up somewhere, a cheapy sale. I'll be able to swoop in.
Well, and then, yeah, you'll be able to pick it up. And there might be an Amazon Flash deal for it sometime.
Like a ninja.
Just be like, I'm going to get this right now.
$12? Speaking of ninjas, the new Ninja Gaiden game. Did you see the trailer for that?
No, I've not. I heard about
that shit. Like,
well,
it's crazy.
It's a Ninja Gaiden game. What do you expect?
So the story is you are one of the ninjas that Ryu Hayabusa has killed. And you are brought back from beyond the grave and enhanced with cybernetics to fight Ryu Hayabusa. And it has this weird graffiti art style and like this.
Did Kojima write this?
No, this
because that's what this sounds like.
This like grindhouse narration, and I was like the whole time I was like, Suda51 is gonna jump out of here at some point and be like, "What's up, suckers?" Like it just seemed like so crazy.
That sounds like a really goofy.
That game seems cool. That seems like a game I buy for $20 and I play it for a long time.
Yeah. Wow, that seems really goofy.
Like that seems like that No More Heroes.
Yeah, it does.
Like, I was just like, it seems so crazy. I love the invention.
Now I've got to go watch that trailer just to see what the hell you're talking about.
So there was a ton of stuff in indies, but we're probably gonna talk more about that in the PlayStation.
Yeah, there's a lot of indie stuff in the
because PlayStation did a really good job of like courting these indies, and I think if you have a Vita going forward, that's what you're gonna get most of.
Yeah.
So third parties across the board, I think everyone brought their A game.
Yeah.
I think every single publisher knew, hey, this is going to be the biggest E3 in a while. We need to step it up.
Yeah, and they brought all kinds of games. They brought stuff for all the consoles.
Like,
they basically said if it's not available on this one,
like,
it's available on the.
Yeah, they were like, we're gonna bring shooters. We're gonna bring freaking
crazy RPGs,
cybernetic ninjas. We're gonna bring freaking RPG brawlers. We had 2 RPG brawlers at E3.
Yeah,
we had 2.
2. That's good.
Like somewhere like the ghost of River City Ransom behind me in the shelf is like flipping over in its grave that there's 2 freaking RPG style 2D brawlers.
That's cool though. I mean, it's good to see that if the first parties aren't going to show off all these different genres, then the third parties are going to throw it out and be like, here you go, guys. Here's all this cool stuff.
You want RPGs?
I mean, obviously...
RPGs. Tales of Xillia, which I'm totally buying. I was like, that looks cool.
We can't expect, Microsoft and Sony to be fronting 12 or 15 different genres of game, but, they're going to work with indies. They're going to work with other development teams that will do that. So a lot of that stuff is going to show up on these consoles or on the handhelds or whatever in the next year and a half.
Yep. So this was a little bit of a longer episode for our little shorter E3 things, but we did cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, we had 3 or 4 different guys. So.
And I totally want to shout outs to third parties. Like you publishers are amazing.
Great job
like, I really thought all of you were gonna suck.
Yeah.
Like I thought like if there's any time as a PR person that I would just kick back on my heels and wait for this thing to flop out, like it would be this E3.
Yeah.
But there was stuff for everything. There was stuff for Wii U. There was stuff for PS3, PS4, Vita.
Admittedly,
there were PSP games on the floor. That boggles my mind that people are still making PSP games.
Hey, you know what? The PSP has sold well.
Yeah.
Well into it, for a portable.
But 3DS, 360, Xbox One, everyone, the third parties has something for you.
Yes.
So, we'll see you soon.